And I do believe Texas is one of the hardest markets to have a roofing company.
Money, if you're doing 100 million and it costs you 100 million, I'm not impressed.
Finish this sentence for me. Great companies are built when leaders. Everybody, welcome back to the Built to Sell It podcast. I got a special guest here for you, Heather Hitchcock, the founder, CEO, president, the woman that runs the day-to-day operation for Royale Roofing out of Houston, Texas. Woman-owned business. She actually spoke at my first roofing conference when I bought it from Dimitri. Great job, by the way. You crushed it.
That was
Um,
awesome. Thank you for that.
we're gonna be talking about your social media, how you use it to build business. We're gonna be talking about growing your business, the ups and downs, the reality of making money, losing money, and the real world about what it takes to build a roofing company. And I do believe Texas is one of the hardest markets to have a roofing company.
Crazy hard. People have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's one of the hardest markets to have a roofing company. My ex actually from high school lives in Texas. That's a true song. My ex lives in Texas. She does. Shake Tubby. She's my high school sweetheart. Great person, though. She's a great human being. Her husband I'm friends with, great guy. She has a beautiful son, Jared, like, great people. I can't say a bad word about them. But yeah, so Heather, why don't you tell everybody who you are real fast, and we're gonna jump into the podcast.
Yeah, my name is Heather Hitchcock. I own and operate Royal Roofing down in Houston, Texas. I am a single mom with 3 children, and I love roofing. I love excellence, and I love building people up to be their best self. So I love this space.
How old are your kids?
I've got 3. My youngest is 12, Asher. I've got a daughter, Hayden. She cheers at Baylor University. And then my oldest son, Carter, is 23. He is my numero uno revenue producer. Started with me as, job site trash picker upper and supplier runner. And now he's out killing the game, winning deals and actually selling.
So I'm gonna start with the pink elephant in the room because I'm not afraid to ask the hard questions, and I don't believe what's politically correct. You should be afraid to ask them. How's it like being a woman in a fucking man's world of roofing? Like, that's what it is. Like, I mean, it's just I go to these conferences. I'm like, some I like, some I don't like. It's a very chauvinistic overall uh, approach, which I don't agree with. I think some of the best leaders in the world are women. That's a whole different conversation. But
Love that
to be
about you.
blunt to be blunt with you is, what's it like? Because it has to be difficult.
It is ridiculously exciting. I will be honest, I haven't really experienced a lot of difficulty, and I think that's just how I carry myself and who I know I am. I do know I can tell you what has made it easier for me as a woman in this space is, just attention to detail, an ability to take accountability and want to be better and want to grow. So being kind of a student of the game and looking at the greats and actually, figuring out how I can be better versus like, look at me. I'm a dude. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it is difficult, but I'm a pretty confident, savvy woman. And I got into this space and realized there was little excellence and not very much integrity, and so it's very easy to rise to the top, in a space where the stuff is lacking. The sophistication was like crazy. I mean, I feel like I found, a hidden gem with roofing.
I feel like I found, like I always say, it's when they came over on the boats and Columbus founded America. I'm like, Jesus Lord, because I didn't know the roofing space 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I tell everyone that. People are like, "What?" I'm like, "Look what I've done in it." Like, I came, planted my flag, and said, "I'm here." And I think a lot of people thought I wasn't staying, but I'm not going anywhere.
I really
Um, so I mean, it is. It's a space of not a lot of systems, not a lot of processes. A lot of people with egos,
big
a
time.
lot of, you watch the social media, you watch the unprofessionalism, you watch the people calling people out, making fun of people, um, calling people names, calling women names, calling men's names, putting people on blast, not, telling half truths, not the whole story. Things that really don't add any value to your business growth whatsoever. So I've never been part of an industry like that before. It's like really, really, because if you saw this behavior with digital agencies or IT companies or any other companies, you'd have no business.
Right.
People wouldn't do business with you.
Right.
But yet in the roofing space, some of these people are running real roofing companies. I'm not saying they're making money, I don't see their P&Ls, but I'm saying they're running businesses and they're going around giving speeches and talking,
And
and their
charging
behavior huh?
and charging people.
And their behavior is pretty bizarre.
It's a very bizarre industry. You know, the social media specifically, and I just pay attention because that's how I build my, lead flow and how I've really built my business. But the people picking at each other, and I mean, the energy that is spent on social media between contractors in the roofing space, like, if they took, like, 1/10 of that and poured it into, you know, their operations or dialing in their systems, it would look a lot different. I do wanna say, as far as being a woman, one thing I wanna add that is difficult, that I think is not fair. If you are a aggressive, decided woman that takes personal responsibility, you often get labeled as, you know, being super hard and difficult, being a bitch. And, I would say probably 10% of people who maybe think that of me are because I've made poor choices as a leader. I'm human, I'm growing, right? And I'm learning. But the majority of people that I deal with, they can't handle truth and they can't handle personal accountability. And when you aren't used to being able to handle truth, it sounds like hate. And so that would be one thing I would say is a little bit harder as a female being able to just walk out, making the hard calls, doing the right things regardless, and just being okay with not caring about what people think about you.
So, I'll tell you something, and I've said this always to everyone, and people are like, "Oh my god, Lance, you can't say that, you can't say that." 80% of my leadership team is women. I don't know if you know that. My CPAs are women, my CFOs are women, my VP of operations is a woman, my in-house counsel is a woman, my head of HR is a woman, like, everyone's a woman except for my CEO, Bill, and my chief revenue officer, Mike Shelley, and my production person, Jim Evans. Every single other person in my organization is a female, and they beat the shit out of the boys. Like, they're just better at the jobs 90 times out of 10. And it's funny, I noticed it when I owned a digital agency. The more women I hired in leadership roles, the better things got. Now, people say, "Lance, wow, you're really, like, brutal on men." I don't have to compete with the women's egos a lot of
Mm,
times. They're more loyal, they're supportive, they wanna be part of the process, where sometimes men let their egos get ahead of them.
yeah.
But I did say the same thing you said. When these women leaders start to tell you the truth and they start asserting themselves and saying, "We're not gonna accept this," I'd walk out of meetings, this is like 4 or 5 years ago, and people are like, "Can't believe she's such a bitch." I'm like, "She's not a bitch, she's a leader." I'm like, "That's what she's supposed to do." And people would be looking at me, I'm like, "If I said that to you, you might call me an asshole, but you say that's just him being a leader." But when a woman do I agree with you, so, like, it is hard being in that position for you, Heather. So I watched your journey through social media, and we're talking about social media because I got to meet you in person. I think you're a really nice human being. I think you're a great human being. All leaders make mistakes. I made mistakes. I've snapped on people when I shouldn't have snapped. I fired people I shouldn't have fired. I've done a lot of dumb things. And people that tell you that they're great leaders are only your worst leaders, right? I'm a constant working on my leadership. I'm constantly trying to make things better. And I think, when I look at your social media, I show my wife, I show you I show my wife your ABC trip. And can you remind me of my wife with your tattoos? My wife, I think you met my wife. She has all the tattoos and
Smoking hot, and I love how you honor her for real. It's one of the things I respect about you the most is how you're always honoring her and showing your children, so I just wanna publicly say that to you. It's very
well, yeah, she's the best thing ever happened to a man like me. So, but like, so I was showing her your ABC trip. I was like, man, this woman's living her best life. And she's like, I love her tattoos. And cause she like you, like that, I don't use the word you're hippie-ish, but you are kind of like you're very into relaxation. My same thing my wife's like the same, so I don't want to insult you. Yeah, I don't want correct. Yeah, I don't want to insult you and use the word hippiness, but like also the right word I'm looking for. Yeah, but, can you talk about your social media presence? Because that's what got my attention was a woman in roofing, you're constantly on roofs, you're constantly promoting roofs, you're constantly trying to educate people, you're inside your office and you're showing people things, which I think is pretty cool, right? I think you're showing the good, bad, and ugly, you don't hide from it. Can you talk
Yep.
about your social media and how you use it to generate business?
Yeah. So when I started roofing, my story is very loud and out there. I was on food stamps. I was facing a 2 to 10 year prison sentence because of some terrible choices I made when drinking alcohol. And, when I got into roofing, I just said, I need everyone in my sphere of influence, everyone in my network to think about me when they hear someone talking about a roof or they need a roof or anything related to roofing. And so I just started going really hard on posting, and I was a every 3-day poster. I wasn't and had never used social media as a business tool prior to. And I started recognizing patterns, different groups of people that would engage with different types of content. And so it became a slow roll strategy that I just built upon and kind of dialed in based on the response I was getting. I mean, I wasn't really a dog person per se. I mean, I have dogs. I love dogs. But I didn't post pictures of my dogs, right? But I noticed different people would come out of the woodwork when I made a post about my dogs. So over time, and now I want to disclaim that it has to be authentic, first of all. So even though it's a strategy, it's an authentic strategy. And what I started to do was trying to get everyone to engage, trying to get everyone to know that I was in roofing. And then my core values kind of took over, and education was one of them. Houses are most people's number one investment. And people don't know anything about their roof. They're trusting Joe Blow with the best sales pitch. They don't know what's going on. They get a contract. They don't even know, they don't even understand a scope of work. If it is an insurance job, they don't know what is and isn't being done. And so I said, hey, our core values at Royal are, I call them icy so that my team can kind of remember them. They're not just, a picture on my bookshelf. They're real: integrity, community, excellence, and education. And education was the one component that was like rocket fuel for my social media. When I was doing all the inspections, because the beginning first 2 years was me grinding on roofs every day. And when I would see, problem things, I would film it and I would talk about it, and then I would show them, the solution. And I was drawing interest in an area that people didn't care about. They look at roofs like they look at, you know, tires, someone that doesn't care about tires per se. So I built some value in getting people to understand that their roof is more than just a roof, and then understanding what to look for if they are using a contractor, how to differentiate people that are, frauds or actually integrous, and then getting people to care about what they were choosing in a roofing transaction.
It's funny because when I got in this space, used the word fraud. And I don't wanna say 90% of roofing companies are frauds. I don't wanna say that. That's I don't wanna be rude. Um, but, like, these guys go in and out of business. They change their names. Uh, if something goes wrong 3, 4 years from now, you have no way of getting back to them. And, like, it's really mind-boggling that homeowners will do business with chuck and a truck in this day and age. And, it's funny because, one of my buddies does roofing every single summer, and he's done it since he was in high school. And he's a really good guy. He's a good man. He's a school teacher, and I wrestled with him in high school. But every summer, him and his brother will do 2, 3 roofs together for extra money and they charge like $300 a square for it, but not much. They're doing it themselves. It's side work for them. But if they were to die, there's no one to fix your roof.
Right.
He's a school teacher. He's a wrestling coach. He's a friend of mine. Now this guy will fix the roof, like, but he's not. If you call him on Christmas Eve, he's not coming out. You call one of my companies on Christmas Eve, we're coming out. I mean, just that simple, right? Like, it's 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 really mind-boggling that people would use truck in a truck. And then when something goes wrong, they're like, "Well, he's out of business, or I can't get in touch with him." Well, what would you and not I'm not talking about the school teacher, because the school teacher is actually an honorable man. He would actually fix things. So the homeowner is lucky to have that guy, right? But
Right.
if he died, you're out of business.
Yeah.
There is no business.
It's mind blowing. I don't know if you know. Do you have any roofing companies in Texas yet?
No, I gotta not compete there right now.
Oh, okay. Well, there's zero regulations in this state for roofing. Zero. There's no licensing, there's no rules, there's no laws, there's no nothing. Outside of some counties that have wind liability code things that require some different certifications, there's no regulations. And so Texas roofing is really known to be the wild, wild west of roofing companies. And
So, this is the thing, private equity people don't even wanna be down in Texas,
I don't blame them.
and for that reason one of that reason is also you're so weather storm relate like, you're so storm dependent down there. Um, one of the private equity firms I know bought a company down there, and they didn't do the proper due diligence, and they underwrote not realizing a storm was the year before, and the company's down 60% last year versus this year, the year before, and 60% when you underwrite something like that as a private equity firm, that's a fucking major hit because 'cause you're paying on growth. Really, people don't understand when they're buying your company, just saying, "Hey, listen, you're a $20 million company this year. If you just grow at 10% next year, you're at 22 million. Even if you're at 7%, I'm still at 21.7 or 21.5. If I just keep my EBITDA, which should get better over time when private equity firms get involved because they have buying power, other stuff we talk about, that I should get paid my money back in a relatively quick amount of time, and then it's just all pure profit, and they probably recap and get a few extra turns, prior to even the time that's even paid off, but that's not the point of my message is when they're afraid to go into Texas, that's all you need to know.
Yeah,
They talk about the Wild Wild West.
yeah, I get it. I mean, the majority of my peers in Texas are storm-based, and they think that's a flex, and I'm like, "How do you not understand that's actually not a flex at all? It's not sound, it's not sustainable, it's easy, in my opinion, to be an order taker. Insurance is like order taking. All I gotta do is tell you I'm paying your deductible. That's easy for me." But the retail side, I mean, that's how you build, in my opinion, a solid company in the state of Texas, and if you're not doing that, um, I don't think you have a chance at succeeding for the long game.
I think it becomes I think, right, there's 2 ways there's always multiple ways to win at a game, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and bash insurance people because even as I've grown over the years in roofing space, I met now multiple private equity firms that are willing to take insurance on as a supplement, as an add-on.
Yes.
They have a few insurance companies inside their portfolio. They're trying to figure it out, how to make it a mixed blend. I do think it's hard to have the same salesperson that does insurance as retail, because if I'm giving away a pizza, how do I charge the next person for the pizza? It's pretty you have a very, certain set of skills to do that and say, "Hey, listen, I just gave it to you for free. Now your neighbor, I'm gonna charge 15,000 for the same exact product, and I'm probably not gonna see the value in 15,000 if I just gave it to you for free." Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to.
Well, don't mistake what I'm saying as knocking the insurance because I that is not what I'm knocking. Hey, I'm all for it, but you are exactly right what you just said, and I think that's most operators' problems in Texas is they don't identify that and kind of split those roles, or there's just no emphasis on the retail side. But you can, there are people that can do both, right? But as a general rule, how the process is as far as knocking and the typical lead gen for the roofing space, it's not apples to apples when you translate what
No,
in your skill set, you have to, it's completely different, and you have to be a legitimate skilled salesperson, especially in Texas, to build value and win a transaction over people that are willing to undercut and, it's pretty dirty here.
that's pretty dirty there.
Pretty dirty.
What's your what I love Texas. We were just in Texas not too long ago. Where were we at? Pl- Austin. Yeah, back in November, I was in Austin. What were we down there for? A service summit. Yeah. We went that yeah, not the best conference. Um, it wasn't. They got me. They got me. Nice hotel, but they got me.
Yeah.
They got it. Listen, my thing is just like, just tell me what I'm showing up for.
Right.
Yeah. You asked me to speak. Listen, like I don't need the big crowd every time. I do it for the abundance mindset. If you want me to come speak, like my friend Judy Moore, I love her, right? So yeah, she runs the live sales team for All Lives. There's a live in Texas actually.
Okay.
And she's like, "Hey, can you come speak to my sales team?" Of course, Judy, I love you. I grew up with you. You know, you've been great to me over the years. Of course I'm gonna come speak. There's 50 people. We had a great day together. We went to she actually had me up till what, 11:30 at the bar right before? She yeah. She had me at the bar till 11:30. I'm never up till 11:30. I grew up with her. We're sitting there. bullshitting, talking about her husband, my wife, talking about just being kids.
Yeah.
Next day I'm talking in front of 50 people with a hangover, but that's alright. They enjoy.
This crowd.
Yeah, but that's my thing, just tell me what it is, and I'll commit to it, but you don't tell me there's 500 people, and then there was how many people were there? Not even 50? A generous 50. And I'm like, "Come on, man, like, just tell me the truth."
Yeah.
'Cause you gotta remember, every time I go away, I'm leaving my children.
Right. Right.
So, if I go away, it's always with the abundance mindset of, you know, "Hey, listen, I'm giving up time with my children, just tell me I'm giving up the time with my children."
Tell me what abundance mindset means to Lance Bachmann.
I think we live in the greatest country in the whole world. I think you could do whatever you wanna do. There's enough to go around. I don't compete with anyone but myself. I teach my children that. Everybody eats at my house on Christmas Eve dinner. It's my favorite night of the year. I want everybody to go home with bags of food. I just believe like, when I hear people say, "Oh, I'm not gonna teach them, you're my competitor." I'm like, "What?" Like, you can't own Bucks County, let alone own the whole area, and these private equity firms, a lot of them, they have the scarcity mindset, like, "Oh, I wanna not compete when I buy your business in every one of my states." Well, I'll never do that again, right? I did that once, I'm locked out of 5 states, I'll never do it again, right? Like, why? Like, why, like, would you do that? So, like, you learn, right? I just have the abundance mindset, like, I've never looked at another man's wife anymore because, when you're younger, you do, you're stupid, but, like, I'm not sleeping with you, happy for you, like, the abundance mindset is just an admission of you're happy for everyone. I wanna see everyone win, I wanna see everyone be successful. I said everyone that works inside of LB Capital or any of my businesses, the only reason I'm accepting your resignation where I'd say I didn't fail is if you said I'm starting my own company.
Wow.
Like, that's what I want, you to start your own company, whatever it is. I hope when your time's done with me that you have the skill set from being around me that you will be able to start your own company and go live the American dream because it's been so good for me,
Yeah.
right? It's been so like, I'm the most blessed man in the world. Like, I pinch myself sometimes, like, is this really my life? I have a great family, I have a great work family, I have everything I could ever ask for in life, monetarily, more than I've ever thought I would have. So, like, I don't know, I just have a different mindset than most people. I don't look at people as I'm friends with Hunter Bala, right? He has a conference. I'm friends with Josie Parks. Like, every person that has a conference, I'm friends with because I don't look at them as my competition. I just don't.
Yeah, I can relate to that, and I appreciate it, and honestly, you can feel that in your culture. You know, when I did come to your conference, and I'm not saying this to, like, blow smoke up your butt or make you feel good, like, it was different. You know, your people are different. They're excellent. Everything was executed at a very high level. I mean, I got to know, yeah, Kelly, some of your women that are I mean, I'm not easily impressed, and I was super impressed from top to bottom, but I agree, I have that same mindset, you know, there's we're all different, there's enough for everybody, help people be their best, and it just kind of organically, happens for you, as for me at least.
The more I give, the more I get. And people are like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I give." Listen, there's 2 sides of Lance Bachman, right? Like I say it to everyone. There's this really nice guy. There's this very nice guy. There's a good man. I try to do the right things. Then there's this other side. If you cross me, you got a lion waiting at the doorstep, and I'm not waiting for you to get to my doorstep. I'm meeting you at my driveway at the head of it. There's a different mindset. No, I mean, like,
I
and people are like, there's 2, like, the nicest guy is gonna welcome you to his home and do whatever you but as soon as you go down the other road, I'm that guy meeting you at my driveway at the front of
Yeah,
it. You're not getting to my doorstep. Like, we're gonna just have it, deal with it, and you're probably not gonna like that version. And and most people, I believe 99% of people are good. Um, and you have the 1% where you see the other side. And in business, I think a lot of people feel like I think this is what stops a lot of people from growing. They get to 2, 3, 4, 5 million, and they're like, "Oh my God, I made it because you're making a good living, but you're making a living, you're not having a business, and there's a big difference.
agreed,
There's a
agreed.
big difference. Like, for you to have a business, you gotta be able to go away and everything still functions. And I go away a ton with my wife. We go away for probably now sounds crazy. I probably go with my wife at least 4 weeks a year,
It's amazing. It's amazing.
and all my businesses, I always say, do better without me than with me.
I can appreciate that, and that I mean, that is necessary. I know for me, that was a realization, and I know that concept, like, if I gotta be in it, I don't have a business. I'm a slave owner operator, you know? Um, but that's what I realized, when I went away a little bit for this last year or the year prior, it the lead gen was not the same without me here, and so that's why I'm currently, I've brought things back down so that I can re-implement some operational strategies.
What's your ideal of success for a business?
My idea for success is, financial freedom, operating without me being the emotional and operational engine of the company, um, fiscal responsibility. Um,
So you gotta make money. You like making money.
yeah, I mean,
Sometimes
I
making
don't,
sure.
I
I
don't
like
even,
making money.
I
Hey,
don't
money said,
understand.
money.
I
You
don't
always want to give me shit.
I don't understand posting awards and flex on revenue. If you're not making money, if you're doing 100 million and it costs you 100 million, I'm not impressed. I don't want no part of that. I'd rather do my 6 million, pocket a million, and be at my son's golf practice tonight. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, today's Top Golf for Asher, so, I mean, that's the life I'm trying to live, and my children, similarly to how do you guys live, success for me, yes, I am about money, I wanna make money, I want to have what I want, to buy what I want, I want my children to do what they want, to lack for nothing, but, my real idea of success is that my children, have a totally different life than I did, and they don't lack, and they don't struggle like I did. And, they know what's important and it's just different. It's just very different for me.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, it's amazing how many of these companies do revenue and they lose money. And listen, I'm not saying I don't lose money in certain months of the year. Like I tell people this all the time. Like if you own a company in Pittsburgh right now and in Pennsylvania in January and February, and we got 2 feet of snow still on the fucking ground here,
Right,
and people are like, "Oh, I'm making money." Bullshit.
right.
Bullshit. If you have a real company, if you have 20, 30, 40 employees, no one's putting shingles on right now. You might be able to sell so it's not even really leaking roofs. And you know this, most people call you when their roofs leak, the majority of people. So if there's ice and it's frozen, guess what's not happening? Your roof ain't leaking. So like when I hear people say things like that to me, I'm like, I just tune out because I'm like, you're just idiotic. Like, right? Like it's just idiotic. Like you're gonna the job is to run at net 15 to 25% through the course of the year on total revenue. If you can do that, you have a sound business that's going to consistently grow if you do the right things.
I'm writing that down. Uh, yeah, well, I agree with that, and I think a lot of the companies in our space, it's just a flex. They're not, they are in those states and they aren't roofing and they are telling people they're still operating at the same level. And yeah, I'm just not about that
Well, I
life.
always tell people, show me your numbers. 'Cause I'll show you mine. Like people come to my shop tours. People, you should come to one of our shop tours or masterminds. People come, we put our P&Ls right up on the board, right out of QuickBooks. Put them right up.
I
I show you
bet
the months we lose money. I show you the months we make money. I don't care.
I bet that the majority of companies, at least, and again, I'm not bashing, I'm not saying general, but I bet most people are not willing to show their true P&Ls.
I got people begging me to partner. I have to be, I'm not being arrogant here, I have to be the number one roofing sold out partner in the country by now, easily. Like, there's no one, like, my DMs blow up. How many messages do we get a day, Neri? 60 to 80 messages a day. Partner with me, look at my company. All day long. So all day long through social media, email calls. I don't get back. AI now handles my social
Yeah,
media. So,
yeah.
but that's a whole different conversation. But so I have to be the number one sold out person, right? We might partner with one out of 600 we actually talk to.
Yeah.
There's so much going into it. Makes it'd be easier for me to get divorced than to unwind a partnership. Most people don't understand that.
Yep. Yep.
There's so much more exposure.
Mhm.
And I'm like, guys, these companies that come to me, they're all losing money. They
Yeah.
all lose money or they make very little money and they don't have growth. I'm like, come on, man. Like, this isn't that difficult. If you just do the right things, your business is going to grow very fast.
Right.
Even in Texas, I believe that. And I believe Texas is one of the hardest markets.
People need roofs in Texas regardless. I mean, it is a market that if you can understand how it works and master the important things, you can be really successful here.
Do you spend money online advertising?
No, not at all.
None. So you have no marketing budget really except for your own social media.
No, and I don't even, I've had so many people reach out to me to run it, but why would I do that? I mean, that is my gifting, and that I produced I was feeding a team of 18 with my inbound leads from my social media for free. The only marketing I spend is community sports. I love to sponsor sports teams and things like that because I genuinely love, the community. But outside of that, no, not a dollar. When I kind of started getting familiar with some other organizations, I started looking into Google and LSA. But no, I have not had online digital marketing. It's probably something I need to look into.
You
But
should do Google LSAs. That's a no-brainer. That's gonna be the cheapest lead you get. That's a no-brainer.
yeah.
Like, that's just every, company out there in the country should be doing Google LSAs. I mean, it's just you can't get a cheaper lead, so, I mean, it's just a no-brainer. That's it. Oh, what do you think one of the biggest mistakes you made early in your career that you had to fix, that you had to address to grow your company with leadership?
Being an emotional leader and a reactive leader was probably my worst, uh, or probably affected my business the worst initially. I was crazy busy and overwhelmed, and I was very emotionally reactive. And I regret a lot of the ways I acted. I mean, I'm always repentant and apologizing if I step out of line, and not crazy. But I think that emotional maturity is so important in leadership, especially at a high level. For so many reasons on both, your team side and the homeowner side. So growing in my emotional, intelligence has been a big part of what's kind of helped me move through obstacles and grow.
What do you think the biggest mistake most contractors make? 'Cause most roofing companies stay at 1,000,000, 2,000,000, 800,000. What do you think is keeping them there?
Um, I would say a lack of dialed in systems, a lack of personal accountability. A lot of people that, they aren't willing to let people into their lives for coaching and I'm not talking about these Joe Blow contractors that, just say they have coaching classes. I'm talking about people that you give permission and trust that are smarter than you or whatever to speak into your life to your deficiencies. This space, especially, we talked about there's so many egos. And I mean, I've had it, nothing I'm talking about is not anything I haven't moved through, right? But once I got humbled, then I started seeking mentorship, and mentorship really changed the direction of my future big time.
It does. I know it's been great. I love having you here. Here's one last question for you.
Sure.
Finish this sentence for me. Great companies are built when leaders.
Stop reacting. Stop reacting. Decided leaders with hardened processes, clear direction, no reaction. I think that's a huge component.
How do people get a hold of you, Heather, if they want to talk to you?
Yeah, my Facebook and Instagram, Heather Hitchcock. My company is Royal Roofing and Construction in Texas, but they can always email me. But you can hit me up on any of my social media platforms, and I am responsive in that realm.
Well, I appreciate you being here today.
I appreciate
Look
you.
forward to seeing you soon. If you
Yes,
need
sir.
anything, you let me know. Thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate you, honey.
Thanks for the opportunity. Take care.
See ya.